I love the hustle, man.
Hey, Sasha Vezenkov, man. There's rumors. I guess we're hearing that he's leaving the Kings. He's requested, I don't know, to be released, to be traded. I don't know which one it is. Dope boy, I'm going to let you fire off while I put my little guy in the other room real quick because he's about to go bad on me. Let me know. Y'all two chop it up. I'm gonna come back and chime in. Dope boy, what's your thoughts on this Sasha
Definitely.
thing?
Go ahead and do your thing. I really don't know too much about him. You know what I mean? Like I said, I haven't really watched him, especially because, I'm based out here in LA, so I don't get to really see too many Kings games unless I chime in on, one of these streaming services. But I do feel like, for me, I haven't seen them be able to play him enough and give him his burn that he actually needs in order for him to see how his game is from the European style to the NBA style and go from there. I just think he didn't get enough playing time in order to go ahead and be able to see if he can play at the pro level, you know what I'm saying, as far as the NBA goes. I think they would give him a little bit more burn, get him acclimated to the NBA lifestyle as far as being on the basketball court. Then he might not say, hey, look, you know what, I want to be released or I want to go ahead and be traded, because you're giving him the playing time to get acclimated with his teammates and stuff like that to see how well he fits in.
Tell you what.
So I just think that Mike Brown and them did a terrible job with trying to figure out how to fit him in with his minutes and get him to be able to play on the basketball court.
I do too.
So, yeah, I don't really know.
I agree, man, because the whole season I was like looking for them to find a way to get him in the flow. He was never in the flow. It was like, all right, just go out there. It was just like, and he was just standing around. I feel like he didn't feel comfortable. I feel like he was never comfortable with the speed of the game. He was never comfortable within the offense of his own team. I feel like he never, there was no chemistry. And to me, I feel like that's coaching, especially when the guy's coming over here from a whole nother country. He's never played in this league. He's never lived over here. You have to kind of acclimate him to what's really going on, the speed of the game, get him up to speed with the offense, the team, spacing, where he needs to be, all that. And I just kind of feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like Mike Brown didn't do a good job of that. I don't know if it was something he saw in practice that he didn't like. And even when he was shooting the ball, I was like, bro, why is he nervous? Oh, can I shoot? Just jack it up, bro. He was airballing, bro. I was airballing stuff just way off. I'm like, bro, to me that's nerves. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Because we've seen what he can do.
I think he's probably playing inside his head.
Yeah.
He probably didn't know. Like you said, we're gonna throw him in the game. Hey, look, man, just go ahead and do what you got to get the ball. Make the best of it. And he's kind of looking like, hey, well, I got the ball. I'm open. Or I got the opportunity to shoot. Got to shoot. Yeah, so I shoot. I pass it. But because you guys are not helping him out and getting him acclimated to the system and getting him acclimated to his teammates and things of that nature in the game, I felt that as a coach too as well.
I did too.
But him as a player though, if you do feel like something's bothering you and you feel like, hey, look, I don't know if this is going to go ahead and work out, or hey, coach, what can I go ahead and do a different job? At least have the open dialect with one another and figure out how you guys can either get on the same page. Or, hey, you know what, this is just not going to go ahead and work out. We'll see about a trade, or we'll possibly go ahead and release you. So that way you can go ahead and figure it out with another NBA team, or go ahead and go overseas to play ball over there again.
Teddy White, do you feel like it's just a matter of he just wasn't ready for the NBA? You're over there dominating, but when you come over here, it's a whole different, just talent level. Do you feel like there is a team that can use him and build him up and develop him the proper way? Unlike the Sacramento Kings were able to do last season. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think when a player comes all the way from overseas, I think it's a couple of adjustments.
It's a culture shock. For one.
It's a culture shock. You're away from your family, and you coming from a place, not only you was an MVP, you know what I'm saying? So people know you, people recognize you, you're a star, you're a celebrity there. And then when you come here, you got to get acclimated to being just a normal guy, a guy that's on the Kings. You know what I mean? So that plays a role. Now you're not getting the playing time that you thought you was going to get. And when you do get the time, you're not yourself, like you were saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, I thought he had an opportunity once Herter went down. I said, you know what? He'll probably be able to step into that position, get a couple minutes. But then he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So he also couldn't find a rhythm to get himself on the floor to showcase his talents. Mm-hmm. So really for Sasha, man, it's like reevaluate things, see if it's worth coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clearly for you, I mean, I want to say it's getting somewhere between maybe 8-12 minutes a game, maybe. So for you, is that worth you coming back here? Everybody's dream isn't to be in the NBA, you know?
And you know what?
Definitely.
And my thoughts were, I'm like, man, I was thinking like, when we were talking about the Kings roster moves and we were talking about next season, I always kind of included him in that. Like, because I was like, yeah, keep Sasha. Like, if you lose Monk, like, because there might be opportunity for him to kind of come off the bench and be that sixth man,
right?
You know,
right.
But you have to make him comfortable and let him know. Like, and I feel like, man, like, what was it had to be a disconnect somewhere for him to feel like this isn't going to work. I don't even want to come back for a second year. I don't even want to try this again. Like, what happened for you? It's like, damn, it's like. If I was him, I would kind of look at it like, okay, first year, I'm just getting my feet wet. They haven't said anything about trading me or not wanting me, but now the news is that he's the one who wants to go. He's the one requesting to be released. And it's like, man, like, do you think like maybe he reached out to the upper management? Has he talked to Mike Brown? Has he talked to Monty McNair? Like, what is he? What do you think he wants? You know what I mean? In your opinion, Doughboy, like, what do you think Sasha wants moving forward if he's to stay in the NBA, or do you think he just wants to go back home where he's comfortable?
I think that, for me, on the outside looking in and just seeing the short, games that I've seen with him playing and things of that nature, I just don't feel like the King. It maybe just be the Kings. Maybe the system is for him.
For him, yeah.
And then like Teddy said, what I'm saying, also, with you being the top dog overseas, you come here, now you the fifth, sixth, seventh, possibly, eighth option if you do decide to go and get, or, if the coach decides to give you some burn, So that's where, like I said, you have to go ahead and have the communication, and you have to say, look, man, this is where I want to be at the pro level. How can we make this happen within this system? And if we can't make it happen, then, hey, let me go ahead and put my fillers out there. Let me see who else is available that might take me to put me on their roster, who might be able to go ahead and guide me and say, hey, look, you know what? We're going to go ahead and give you 8, 9, 10 minutes a game. See what you go ahead and do. We'll run a couple plays for you, a couple pick and rolls and things like that to get you to pop and shoot or whatever the case may be. But if you're not allowing him to play within a system that kind of fits him, then it's going to definitely be frustrating, especially when you're not from here. Yeah, for sure.
Is this confirmed that it's a lot of news outlets reporting it?
It's been a lot of news outlets on it. I'm not necessarily for sure. I haven't heard an official word from his representative. Right. But, I haven't heard anyone argue against it either. No, so
me neither.
And for him, I feel like Sasha. Honestly, I feel like Sasha before he decides to go back, I think he will want to try it with another franchise before he decides to go. So, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna go back.
So what's something he don't like about being with these Kings? It's something he don't like.
You know what? It could be, you know what? I don't see something as simple as, what? I don't see myself fitting in this system. I don't see myself going in the same direction that they're wanting to go. You know what I mean? And when that happens, that's a mental thing. It hinders your play. It hinders everything. You know what I mean? So again, we have to go back to, we may have to reset again, go back through the options and see what best fits us. But I do think before he takes that step and go back home, I think he will want to try it with another NBA franchise before he just gives up on the dream. You know what I mean? To say, you know what? I could have maybe been better over here or in a better, different situation before I went back home. But that's not to say if the Kings decide not to trade him, right? That in that moment, I think he will probably go back. You know what I'm saying? Go back home.
Right.
Man.
They're saying, from what I'm seeing in these outlets, from SI, I know they confirmed that 2 teams that could possibly use him or possibly trade for him is the Denver Nuggets for depth and then the Detroit Pistons. It just depends on who wants him and then how he fits.
Oh, he really going to leave.
I would go to Detroit.
You go to Detroit, you really going to be begging to go back home.
Don't do that, bro.
I can see Denver.
I can see Denver. If it was me, I'd go ahead and either return back over to the European, go ahead and play over there, you know what I'm saying, in there, or I would go ahead and be like, hey, look, man, you know what, Kings,
I can see
let's
Denver.
figure this out. So let me figure out, I'll go ahead and do my second year with you guys, see what this is going to take place and go from there.
So if he wants to play in the NBA, it had to be a trade, though, right?
Yes.
All right, I can see Denver. Who would y'all?
He had a 2-year contract with the Kings, so This is the second year, so they either have to release him or they have to trade him in order for him to fulfill whatever NBA obligations that he wants to do after that.
I wonder who Denver would give up. Would they give up PJ Watson? Was that name? PJ Watson or something? The center, the backup center, the little young dude.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't know. Man, it's like what is his trade value? What can you get back for him?
I think if somebody sees a value in him that maybe that the Kings didn't, because like I said, you don't forget how to shoot. You know what I'm saying? You don't forget.
No.
You don't forget how to shoot. We know he can shoot that rock. We've seen the tape. We've seen the tape. Now maybe the spacing was different. The timing was different. I felt like he just wasn't comfortable for whatever reason.
Everything was different.
Comfort.
The
comfort.
The physicality of it, the speed of it, the way people move. Everything is different because now you're playing against actually the best players in the world. You over there, you playing against the guy that couldn't make it over here or didn't get the opportunity over here. So everything is, everything is times 10. And that was surprising to him, I'm pretty sure. he heard the rumors, but once you get on that flow with these athletes, it's a whole different story. It's showing this game.
I wonder how he would look with a team that he would be comfortable with and that would be willing to develop him and bring him along. I wonder how he would look. But
the crazy thing about it, like what you're saying though, is that even with us talking about all the off-season moves in the previous episodes, you know what I'm saying, for the Kings in this podcast, just think if Kevin Huerter / HB package does get traded along with a pick, Sasha, that allows you to kind of step up in and fill the roles of these two players that are gone.
And that's why
you might get some more playing time.
That's why when I was including him in my kind of the way I pictured the roster being formulated next season, I'm like, yo, there's gonna be some opportunities for you, bro. Especially if we're not if the Kings aren't able to sign Monk, or like you said, if HB and Huerter are gone. Say we do how we talked about that 2-for-1. Say you trade like a Huerter and Barnes for that one wing. Okay, now that kind of moves you up. That kind of moves you up that bench. You know what I'm saying? Now, and again, if Monk don't play, now you're like 6-7 man, bro. That's opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But maybe he didn't see it like that, and maybe it hasn't been conveyed to him like that for whatever reason. He could
be like Hito Turkoglu and how Hito was.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I picture him.
You know what I mean? He came off the bench, gave us great productivity, can knock down the ball. You know what I'm saying? When giving the rock to you. So I do feel like he's kind of rushing it right now, without seeing the bigger picture just yet with what the Kings' moves are going to go ahead and be made. So if I was him, I would probably be like, hey, look, let me go ahead and just chill out. Let me see what the offseason looks like really quick. Let me see what roster pieces come up off this roster. Then go from there and say, hey, look, you know what? I can see myself being here because I can see my minutes are going to get up now. The opportunity for me to go ahead and shoot the balls will be up now. So I'm going to go ahead and try it out.
I feel like the timing. I feel like the timing of it is kind of weird. We're in the middle of the NBA Finals.
Yes.
Free agency hasn't come up. Draft hasn't come up. It's like very weird timing for him. I don't know who his agent is. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? Teddy White, what's your thoughts on that? We'll go with you for the last thoughts. But as far as the timing of it, what's your thoughts?
I mean, you know what? I'm not necessarily even upset of it. I'm glad that he did it before the draft. So if somebody does want him,
you know what? Good point.
Right
Good
now.
point. Good point.
Maybe we
can put him in a package. Maybe put him with those other two. Now you might get this nigga a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
Yeah.
For real.
If you want to go, you can leave.
But I guess when I was saying you made a great point. I didn't think of it like that. But I guess when I was saying timing, I was kind of thinking like of him wanting to see how the roster was going to kind of be looking in the next month or two. You know what I mean? To where it's like, oh, okay, I can see myself like fitting in now. I've already been here. You know what I mean? The bench is thin now because they gave up a couple guys. They weren't able to re-sign Monk. Okay, like, I can see myself like, but that's what I was kind of thinking. But you're right though. It could be because of trades coming up, free agencies, stuff like that. So maybe it's good timing for the Kings as well.